A couple of years of speculation, a couple of years of Tyson Fury ducking, and one postponed fight later, we have finally made it to a Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk fight week. To put into perspective how big this fight is on Saturday night, we all know the blue chip division in boxing. The blue chip weight division is the heavyweights. Regardless of weight class, the heavyweights will always come out on top. The past number of years, the heavyweight division has been a bit of a shit show, and it's really affected boxing's reputation. And on Saturday night, it's got a chance to pull back some of that reputation and gain some of that street cred back that it once had. This is the first time since 1999 that the heavyweight division in boxing will be unified. There will be one champion, there will be one, the best boxer in the world, the heaviest boxer in the world. It will be a unified division for the first time in 25 years since Lennox Lewis defeated Evander Holyfield in 1999. That shows you just how big this event is and how big this fight is going to be on Saturday night in Saudi Arabia. Tyson Fury fight weeks are always pretty enjoyable. Tyson Fury himself is a character. His dad usually tries to steal the show, and I actually thought coming into this fight week, I remember watching John Fury when Tommy was fighting and he was flipping the table and stuff in that press conference, and I remember thinking, just literally on Saturday or Sunday there, I was thinking to myself, what can John Fury do to steal the limelight this time? And fucking hell, he did not let me down. Let's watch the videos that's come out of John Fury this fight week. So the Fury clan and the Usyk clan are standing across from each other, and they're standing shouting Fury, Fury, and the Usyk clan obviously shouting Usyk's name back. This is like as bad as Chelsea's Chelsea chant. This is the worst display of shit talking I have ever seen. I would like John Fury to come out with a good one-liner or something here, but all he can do is just stand and shout Fury. Next time you get into a bit of conflict with someone, just stand and look at him and start shouting your surname at him. So it looks like the altercation is over. Big John Fury's getting pulled away, and on his way out he sees some young guy. I don't know what age this guy is, I don't know who he is, but he's obviously part of Usyk's team. He looks, I don't think this guy is older than, I don't know, he looks between 20 and 25. If even, that's maybe giving him a few years. John Fury just fucking sinks the head on him. An absolute nutter he is. Disappointed to see this by John Fury because he had the chance there. There was a few bigger guys as part of Usyk's team, and he didn't throw the head in them. He waited till he seen that wee guy standing by himself without Usyk's team around him. He was standing sort of like a lone wolf in amongst the Fury clan. And John Fury decided to stick the head into him instead. He has come out in an interview after and he said, "I'm a fighting man, and if you come in my space, this is what I do." Sorry for the terrible John Fury accent, but I have to do it. I think he's talking shit here. This guy didn't really come in his space. It was John Fury that went up to this guy and sunk the head on him. So a very bad look, but it's a very entertaining start to the fight week, and hopefully it continues like this and there's plenty of drama coming out from both camps. When I make these prediction videos, I always like to look at the record of the fighters, and I particularly like to focus on their last 3 fights. I have made a video before. Once this fight was postponed the first time, I made a video shitting quite heavily on Tyson Fury, shitting on his record and debating whether or not he is the greatest heavyweight of all time, or if he's even the greatest heavyweight of our generation. In that video I disagreed with these claims, and I made quite a compelling case for it, I think, so make sure and go and check that out. I'm not going to be shitting on Tyson Fury as much in this fight. I really just want to see what way can Tyson Fury beat Usyk. What things can he do that will give him the best chance to coming out with the win here on Saturday. So I'm not going to be shitting on Tyson Fury in this video as much as I did in the other one. But make sure and go and check it out. Looking at Tyson Fury's last 3 fights, we've got a win against Dillian Whyte, a win against Derek Chisora, and a win against Francis Ngannou. You know, I know, and Tyson Fury himself knows that Tyson Fury did not win that fight. Francis Ngannou got robbed that night. But I'm not going to open up that can of worms and start getting into why Ngannou won that fight and why he was robbed. I'm just going to focus on this fight that we have in front of us. So for Usyk's last 3 fights, we've got 2 wins against Joshua and the win against Daniel Dubois. Obviously the Daniel Dubois one was filled with controversy as well, because there was a dig which was classed as a low blow. It dropped Usyk. Usyk took his time to get back up because it was a low blow, and there's some saying that it shouldn't have been classed as that. I'm going to look into that further on in this video and see if that's something that Tyson Fury could potentially expose during this fight. One of the biggest talking points coming into this fight week is the shape that Tyson Fury is in. He looks phenomenal in comparison to how he looked against Francis Ngannou. We all know Tyson Fury isn't the best cut boxer. You know, you see boxers absolutely chiseled to shit. Usyk's going to come in good shape, and Ngannou was absolutely chiseled. Anthony Joshua is, but Tyson Fury doesn't tend to follow that. He tends to like to come in with a bit of a dad bod, a bit of a beer belly on him, and he still performs. It works for him, and it doesn't affect his endurance at all. And it's just the shape that he is. He's such a weird and awkward kind of freak of nature in the way that he's built. Let's just look at a side-by-side picture of Tyson Fury coming into the Ngannou fight in comparison to the shape that he's in now for the Usyk fight. So you can see that he's Fury's lost a lot of weight around the stomach area, and he is looking a lot leaner around the core. Although I don't think this is the main talking point about his physique here. His physique has changed massively around his shoulders. He's looking a lot more built. His shoulders are a lot stockier. His arms are a lot stockier and a lot musclier. And this will pay dividends to Tyson Fury in this fight, in my opinion. Tyson Fury might have put on this extra weight for a few reasons. The first one, maybe because he didn't like his performance in the last fight, which is quite right, because he was terrible against Ngannou, and he might have thought, right, I'm going to dial in on the diet and the training properly this time and get myself into good shape for the fight, which is what he should have done for Ngannou anyway. It's crazy that he didn't do that. The second reason is there's already a big difference in weight between Tyson Fury and Usyk. Usyk was a cruiserweight for most of his career, and he stepped up to heavyweight for his last 5 fights. So Usyk is a lot smaller. Naturally, his frame is a lot smaller than Tyson Fury, and if Tyson Fury can make that weight difference even bigger by putting on more muscle mass, it's only going to make it harder for Usyk. This leads on nicely to the way that I think Tyson Fury could win this fight. There's one or two ways that Tyson Fury could win this fight. The first way would be a bit sexier. He's got a 7-inch reach advantage. He could keep Usyk at bay and use his jab and follow up with some power punches and really keep him at distance with his jab and with his left hand. Or his right hand. He likes to switch stances, Fury too, but he can pop out that jab, which we've seen him do many times before, and he can really keep Usyk at bay using that. Although I don't think this is going to be possible, because if Usyk is on his night at all, and if Usyk fights in the way we've seen him fight so many times before, Usyk will cut that distance very quickly, and he won't allow Tyson Fury just to keep the straight arm out and keep him at bay. So I can't really see it going this way, to be honest. If Tyson Fury was going to win, I think the way that he's going to do it is going to be dirty. He's going to really lean on Usyk a lot, which is why this extra weight comes into play. Got some footage here of Tyson Fury in the first Wilder fight, just showing how much he leans on other fighters, and he's doing it a serious amount to Wilder here. The talk at the time was because of Wilder's legs. His legs are so skinny that they won't be able to hold the weight of Tyson Fury, and I think Tyson Fury is going to have the same approach. I'm not saying that Usyk has small legs or anything, but I just think the naturally smaller frame will have the same effect as what it did on Wilder's legs. So you can see Tyson Fury, as soon as his opponent comes in close, Wilder in this case, he just wraps the arm around him. It's nearly like a guillotine or like a headlock type thing, and he's putting that pressure down on the back of Wilder's head here and down through his whole body, and Wilder's whole body is having to support Tyson Fury here. He does it again here. He's wild for doing this. He does this all the time. This is dirty tactics, but it's the sport of boxing, and this is something that's allowed. This is why I'm not a big fan of boxing in comparison to the MMA. The clinch is a safe position in boxing, whereas MMA, the clinch is nowhere near a safe position. There's a lot can happen from the clinch. You can throw knees, you can get takedowns off it. Whereas in boxing, Tyson Fury is able just to clinch and put his body weight on Wilder here. He will do this to Usyk too, and this could be a big reason why he's put this extra weight on, because if he can really get Usyk in close and get a hold of him, it's going to be a telltale sign in the first couple of rounds. If he can get a hold of him and really drive his weight down through him, this is going to slow Usyk's legs down. If Tyson Fury can slow Usyk's feet down and try and affect his cardio in any sort of way, he might have a chance of going on to win this in the later round. If Usyk wins this fight, it's his speed that's going to win it, and if Tyson Fury can stop that or slow that down in any way, it's going to be a huge benefit to him. A mistake that Tyson Fury makes sometimes, and he made it against Ngannou, and it's vital that he doesn't do this against Usyk, or else it's going to be night-night for him. He gets caught in between ranges. He's not quite far enough out so that he's unhittable, and he's not quite in close enough so that he can grab a hold of his opponent. He done this against Francis Ngannou. Let's watch the video. So you can see they get separated, and then Tyson Fury throws a 1-2, and Ngannou just sort of slips it, and then he tries the exact same, and he gets caught with that left hook. After throwing that first 1-2, Francis Ngannou noticed there, like, Tyson Fury is in my range. I can catch him here when he throws this punch. And if Francis Ngannou can work that out and can land a punch on him, Usyk will have landed 3 punches on him if he makes the same mistake. Within that time, Usyk will land a lot more punches than what Francis Ngannou did there. So much of this fight is about Usyk trying to get himself into that correct range and be the correct distance that he needs to be away from Fury, so that he's too far away that he can be hit, and he's not close enough that he can get grabbed. So in that no man's land, in that middle range, that's where Usyk's going to do his best work here. And if Tyson Fury just stays in the pocket and stays in there in that range, it's going to be an easy night for Usyk, in my opinion. Oleksandr Usyk is a man who doesn't have very many weaknesses at all, if any, but one that kind of has been exposed over the past couple of fights is that he may have a weakness within his body. The best punches that Anthony Joshua landed in the 2 fights against Usyk, which there wasn't much of, but the best punches did go to Usyk's body, and you could see him him wince a couple of times nearly. Let's just watch back the Daniel Dubois fight, the one that was judged as a low blow. So you can see Dubois punches out the jab and then catches Usyk with a big left hook. Let's just watch it again. So he punches out the jab and then he catches Usyk with a big left hook into the body, and Usyk drops. This was dealt as a low blow, and it probably was. It might have touched the top of the cup of Usyk. Us men, we all know that if you get hit a good dig in the balls, you go down and you grab your balls and it's like pain like nothing else for a couple of minutes. It's absolutely excruciating. It's horrible. But the way Usyk reacts there, it's not as if it's a ball shot. He reacts as if he's sore to the body, and I think this punch actually did hurt Usyk's body, and that's why he took the extra time to recover from it. I don't think it was a ball shot. I do agree that it was a low blow because it probably did touch the top of his cup, the cup that was protecting the ball area, I suppose. I'm trying to be quite PC as I talk about this. So the cup that protects the area, it probably did touch the top of it, and it probably did hit him in some sort of way. But I think most of the damage here came from the body. So I think this is something that Tyson Fury has to look at, and it's something that he maybe can target. Of course, he can't be stupid about it. He can't just keep going for the body, but he needs to go upstairs and downstairs, and he needs to keep changing it up, but really putting the emphasis on the body shots and trying to damage Usyk in that area. If he does manage to do this, it will pay its dividends, because as I mentioned earlier, if you slow Usyk down in any way, or if you affect his cardio and that brilliant gas tank that he has, you give yourself a much better chance of winning this fight. And if Tyson Fury can really damage Usyk's body, it's just going to do that. It's going to slow Usyk down, and it's going to affect his gas tank, and in the latter rounds, Usyk won't be the same as what we normally see. Tyson Fury can do good work to the body. Let's look at an example here against Deontay Wilder. You can see Fury, he just swings a big left hook into the body of Wilder, and he manages to drop him with it. If Tyson Fury can do this, if he can damage the body of Usyk, I think this is going to be his best game plan here. And if he does do this, it'll be a sexier way than winning than using his weight as an advantage to lean on Usyk and try and tire him out that way. If he can tire him out by damaging his body, it's going to look a lot better, and Tyson Fury is going to get a lot more credit for it. Now, let's look at Oleksandr Usyk's way to win this fight. He has to put the emphasis on out-punching Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury very rarely gets out-punched, but Oleksandr Usyk is a guy that will be able to do it. We've all seen Fury fight heavy hitters, the likes of Chisora, Dillian White, Wilder. These are all heavy hitters. Even Klitschko was known to be a heavier hitter. You know, he didn't have a lot of speed. Whereas Usyk's coming in here, he's coming in as the smaller guy who's a lot quicker and will land a lot more punches than what Tyson Fury is going to. And Tyson Fury, he come up against someone quick before in the name of Steve Cunningham. This was before my day of watching boxing, so if you watched this fight live, let me know in the comments. Was it a big surprise at the time that Steve Cunningham managed to drop Fury here? But we'll watch the video back now. So we can see Cunningham, he's a lot quicker than Fury, and he starts the first round, and Fury actually wins the first round. But it's the second round where it gets really interesting. So Cunningham, he's throwing a lot of punches, and he just catches Fury. He's just too quick for Fury there, and he brings that overhand right quicker than what Fury actually sees it coming. So if Usyk can do this, he's in with a chance of dropping Fury here as well. Fury hasn't really proved himself against someone that is as quick as Usyk ever before, or not in his pro career anyway, and not at the level that Usyk is. So it will be quite interesting to see. Let's just watch more of this video. So there was the knockdown in the second round, then you come into the third round, and Steve Cunningham gets a lot of success again. He ducks and weaves, and Fury is struggling to hit him. He's really struggling to hit him here. And Steve Cunningham, he's landing a lot of good punches, and he's landing them with pace and ferocity as well. And this is something Oleksandr Usyk will be able to do a lot better than what Steve Cunningham's doing here. I'm sure Usyk and his team has been watching these clips of the Steve Cunningham fight, and they're probably getting a lot of inspiration from it, and the fact that someone quicker than Fury, the one time that we've seen someone quicker than Fury fighting, that he struggled with him. He did go on to get the win of this in this fight, of course, because Fury has got that dog in him, to be fair to him, so he did go on to get the win. But this was one of his toughest fights. This is something that Usyk has to be looking at, and knowing that if he can maintain that speed and outland Fury, that Fury might not be able to do much about it, and he might not be able to defend against it because he's not used to defending against it. Let's just watch a video which illustrates how quick Oleksandr Usyk's hands are. I don't know if anyone's ever tried the coin trick where you put a coin on your hand and you flick it around and try and catch it. I've tried it a few times. I can do it with one coin the very odd time. Most of the time I drop it. Let's watch Oleksandr Usyk doing it here. So this was on the fight week of the Anthony Joshua fight. Usyk is a performer. I think Usyk's funny as fuck. See when he does like that hardstyle dancing and showing off his footwork and things like this here. Like this coin trick is actually impressive. He is a performer, Usyk. He's a bit of a weirdo. He's a bit mad. He's a strange character for sure, but he's one that's good for the sport of boxing, and he holds his head high, and he's got a lot of integrity about his name. He doesn't do much shit talking. He's just a bit of a weird guy in general. 3 coins placed up his arm. As I said, I've tried this with 1 coin and it's very, very difficult. So he's got 3 coins up his arm and he throws them and catches all 3. That's unbelievable, and he does this a couple of times after. His hand speed and his fight IQ is the product of having 350 amateur fights. 350 amateur fights, that is an unbelievable amateur career and it cannot be matched. And this is where it's paid off. You can tell by the way Usyk moves around the ring and the way he cuts angles and how quick his hands are that he has spent a severe amount of hours in that ring, and it's no problem to him. It's just another night at the office because he's been there, done it. 350 amateur fights, like that is absolutely crazy to me. It's mental when you consider someone in MMA. I know boxing there's a lot more fights and fights aren't as serious at the amateur level and stuff like that, but if you consider MMA, you know, you'll maybe have 10 amateur fights is a lot for an amateur fighter, and then they're starting to go pro. Oleksandr Usyk is 350. Just let that sink in. Usyk's ability to cut angles and close the distance between himself and Fury is going to be key here. Let's watch a video at just how good Oleksandr Usyk is at cutting these angles. This was against Joshua. 1 minute Usyk's in front of you and you'll throw out a jab and you'll think it's going to land, but he's like 180 degrees or 90 degrees to the side of you by the time your jab actually extends out and he's ready to land 2 or 3 punches on you. This is so hard they work against, and again, this is the product of having 350 amateur fights, being a cruiserweight champion and fighting at that level for so many years. This fight IQ and this ring IQ that he has, it can't be taught overnight. Look at this here. So he's jabbing and moving, jabbing and moving. 1 minute he's in front of you and the next he's away, he's behind you. Unbelievable stuff from Usyk there, and if he can do this on Saturday night, I think he's in with a real good chance of winning. So it's time for my official prediction for this fight on Saturday night then. My official prediction is that Oleksandr Usyk is going to win a unanimous decision. I think he's going to outland Fury for all of the reasons that I have just mentioned. I think he's going to be far, far too quick for Fury, and I think he'll get the win in the judges' eyes. This would be absolutely massive. No matter who wins this, it's going to be massive because there is someone here that's going to lose the 0 on their record. This is 2 unbeaten titans going at it. This is a moment for all ages. This is unbelievable stuff, and one of these guys are going to lose the 0 on their record here. Unless it's a draw, which could happen, of course. There could be an rigged decision or something. It wouldn't surprise me if it was a draw either, but fingers crossed that doesn't happen. Fingers crossed we do get a good fight to watch. A theory that I think could happen, or a prediction I think could happen, and I hope it doesn't, is that Tyson Fury could get a bit of a shit win, and it could be a bit of a shit fight because of Tyson Fury holding on. Tyson Fury doesn't care about his reputation as much as he lets on. If Tyson Fury cared about his reputation, he would have been taking these fights a lot sooner. His reputation has been seriously tarnished and damaged because he was ducking Usyk and he has been ducking AJ for so many years. So he's not someone that cares about his reputation, so it would not surprise me if Tyson Fury goes out and uses his long reach, and any time he feels his arm within touching distance of Usyk, if he pulls him into the clinch. And then it wouldn't surprise me if there was a bit of dodgy refereeing and a bit of judging and the result goes Tyson Fury's way, and Usyk hasn't been able to use his hands properly because Tyson Fury keeps clinching on him and leaning on him. This could happen, and it is the way that I see Tyson Fury winning this if he does win. But fingers crossed it doesn't work out like this and we do get a good fight filled with boxing. Some good combinations been thrown, some good exchanges, and I think if that's the case, if this fight doesn't have any shithousery or any bullshit in it, I do think Oleksandr Usyk is going to win. Thank you very much for sticking around to the end of this video. Make sure that if you enjoy it to like, share and subscribe. Let me know who you think will win this fight in the comments. This is such a difficult fight to predict, so I'm interested to hear who you think will win it, so please let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you. Make sure and hit the bell so you get a notification when my next video goes live. I'll be back on Monday or Tuesday doing a review of the event and of the fight itself, so fingers crossed I'm coming back in here and I'm not pissed off because it's been a shit fight. Fingers crossed I'm coming in and we've been treated to an absolute spectacle and heavyweight boxing gets put back on track, and it's a fight for all ages and it's one that everyone can enjoy. Enjoy the fight on Saturday night and I'll see you in the next video.
Shut up and sit down.